bro. I understand that she be saying, Miss Karen, she be saying little stuff to you. Leave her alone, dog. She'll have you in a straight trick bag, man. I feel you, dog, but you got to understand she smiles and giggles and googles with everybody. That don't mean anything simply because she said hello with a smile, bro. I feel you, man. You grown, I'm grown, man. You got to do what you got to do to make yourself happy. So if you feel like you need to go for it, man, by all means, man, do your thing, bro. I already know it ain't my business. I heard about Big Ben getting caught in the mop closet with Officer Karen, but guess what? It's on him, man. I already heard, of course, she's going to say that he raped her. You think she's trying to lose her job for him? Couldn't tell him nothing, though, bro. You couldn't tell him. Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Ken's TV in the house like motherfucking kitchen sinks. You know, oftentimes, for you all that frequently view my videos, if you will, I speak about how, you know, dog eat dog the penitentiary truly is. Everybody's for themselves in the penitentiary for the most part. You're going to meet some good people, run across some, you know, some nice dudes or what have you. But for the most part, man, it's all about getting over on the next person. What can I get out of this person? But what's so ironic about that is that doesn't just apply to the inmates. You see, it's dog eat dog when it comes to the correctional officers just as well. So with that being said, there is a message this afternoon. Yeah, there's definitely a message. Now, before I get into my video, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that all of my videos are guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So perhaps you're at work, you're on your way to work, you're on your way from work, having a bad day, you need a laugh. You just want to hear a good old-fashioned, true, legitimate penitentiary story. You're trying to lay down, take a nap. You're trying to go to sleep at night. You're out Ubering, DoorDashing, whatever the case may be. I'm here for you. So this particular situation that I'm speaking of, I'm in a penitentiary. Now, I'm not in an actual penitentiary as far as high level, you know, security penitentiary. I'm at Blackburn Correctional Complex. It's in Lexington, Kentucky. It's a minimum level prison, and there's not even a fence there. Now, don't get me wrong. You got some guys that's done some things, violent things, and, you know, just, it doesn't mean that everybody's soft, basically, at the prison. That's basically what I'm trying to say. They started off behind the fence at higher levels and just worked their way down to Blackburn. And so I'm at this particular camp. Now, this was a good 17, 18 years ago. And it's a laid-back camp, you know, for the most part. You know, they use giving you a write-up and sending you behind the fence as a weapon, as a tool. So those individuals that's never been behind the fence, they're afraid. Some of them, not all of them. For an individual such as myself, I don't like behind the fence, but I came from behind the fence. So it really wasn't that big of a deal to me. You had this correctional officer. And we're going to go by Miss Karen. I think that name suits her appropriately, to say the least. Now, Miss Karen, she hadn't been there very long. I want to say she started after I, you know, arrived at Blackburn. I was going to say arrived. You know, I make up words sometimes, you know, on this channel. Y'all rock with me, man. Give me a little drinky drink, man. It's like 94 degrees here in Lexington, Kentucky, man. And so Miss Karen, man, she was very, very friendly with the inmates. I'm talking about extra friendly. I'm talking about you can go past her being friendly and say that she was just outright flirtatious. She was nice. She was probably about 5'5". She had a red hair. You know, she was white. She had a nice body on her, man. She always wore these tight pants. And she had a nice little body on her, man. She was nice. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Well, she would be so friendly and flirtatious to inmates to where, let me explain to you, like in prison, when a woman speaks to you, the average guy really thinks that woman wants them. Hey, you can say the most basic of things. Hey, how you doing today, Tom? Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Miss Karen? And as soon as Miss Karen walks past, hey, man, she wants me, man. Who wants you? Man, Miss Karen, you see the way she looked at me? You see the way she smiled? She smiles at everybody like that, bro. What are you talking about? Nah, man. I'm telling you one thing about me. I'm a great judge of character, man. I know how women operate. I know how women interact, man. She wants me. Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, go for it then, since you feel like simply because she spoke to you that she wants you. But unfortunately, a lot of guys, you're not really around women. Some people don't really have any interaction with people in the outside world. So it's just like the smallest of things kind of sets them off. So over time, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, Miss Karen developed a reputation of not only just flirting with inmates, but getting inmates hemmed up. Now, when I say hemmed up, meaning, let me give you an example. She'll flirt with you, right? Hey, how you doing today, Mr. Kens? Hey, how you doing? Now, me, I'm just using my name for an example. I never did this with her. Hey, how you doing? Oh, man, you looking pretty good, man. I see you working out. You, okay, I see you. I know your girlfriend. Somebody's going to be happy. She would say things like that, and that's not appropriate for a correctional officer to be saying to an inmate. Now, it's cool, don't get me wrong, if it can work itself out and things, go there and you can, benefit from it. But that wasn't her motive. See, Miss Karen was known to say things to you to, I guess in a sense, entice you. And as soon as you bite, man, you looking beautiful today, man. Your eyes, you look so happy, man. Your eyes are so pretty, man. Next thing you know, they calling you up to security. Damn, they called me to security. I wonder what's going on. Oh, man, maybe it's a urinalysis, a drug test or something like that. You walk up to security, you hoping that you're not getting that call telling you that something has happened to one of your family members, because they only call you to security for a few reasons. So in your mind, you're thinking, I ain't done nothing, so I know it ain't no write-up. Oh, man, I hope my mom's okay. I hope my kid's okay. My girl, my wife, my dad, or grandparents. You get up to security, you sitting there, you waiting and waiting. Next thing you know, stand up, turn around, put your hands behind your back. You in the hole. What'd I do? They don't even tell you initially. You don't even know what you did. You just sit in the hole. You may sit in the hole for a day or two and not even know why you in there. Miss Karen has went to the administration and said that you said some inappropriate things to her. You said that she was beautiful. You said that her eyes were beautiful. You said that she looked happy, that she was shining. She had I guess a glimmer about herself or what have you. And it's like, what? She did that? She really did that? No, it wasn't. Yeah, I did say those things. But at the same time, she was saying stuff to me, and I didn't mean it like that. I was just saying, write up, convicted, shipped off to the penitentiary behind them walls with the lions, tigers, and bears. Now, even though Miss Karen had this reputation for doing this, guys would still bite. That was so crazy. Dudes would still bite on the situation. It was probably at least, after that incident, 3 or 4 more dudes that she got sent up. Everybody bit. Some people were saying they ain't even say nothing to her. And she was still getting them sent up. One day I was getting out of the shower. I came from the shower. I just had on some shorts. I had my little shower shoes on. And I walked back to my cube area. We weren't in cells. We was in 4-man cubes. So when I go to the cube area, and the cubes are separated by a wall that's probably about 3 feet high, maybe, waist high, depending on how tall you are. And so when I'm walking back, my cube is kind of like close to the back. It's not in the very back because you got 25 beds on the left side, and then you got 25 beds on the right side. And so my cubicle, my area, what have you, is on the left-hand side. It's probably about 5 or 6 cubes from the very back. I don't even know that Miss Karen is even in the building. So I'm walking back. I'm in my area. Nobody's there. Everybody's like on visit. It's like a Saturday. Everybody's on visit or out on the yard, or I'm the only one in my area. 4 people to area. Like I said, I got my shorts on, but I didn't have a shirt on. So, I'm lotioning up, putting my lotion, my baby oil. I mix my baby oil and my lotion or whatever, and I'm lotioning up. Again, I didn't even know, once again, I stress that. I didn't even know that she was even in the unit. Rubbing my, lotion on me or whatever. But at this particular time, I've been working out for probably like 2.5 years strong. I'm talking about 4 or 5 times a week, wasn't missing. So I'm kind of in beast mode, gorilla mode, man. I'm throwing that 350 up on the bench. Just one time though. I wasn't repping 350, but I was repping at 315 though. Sets of 3 to 5. You know what I'm saying? 5 sets of 3 to 5s or what have you. So I was a nice sized dude then, because I was a lot younger. So as I mentioned, man, I'm rubbing. I'm getting myself together as far as grooming myself and putting the baby oil or whatever. Oh, not the baby oil, but the lotion or what have you. Mixed with the baby oil. That's key, because you got guys in prison that walk around, man, that rub baby oil all over them. They take pictures or they walk around on the yard so the COs can see them, or maybe so that some of the inmates can see them. I don't know. But that wasn't the case. So I really, really had to stress that in my situation. Next thing I know, I hear her voice. So I look over. I'm like, dang, I didn't even know she was here. So as I hear her voice, is because she was walking closer. She was in the back talking to an inmate. So she sees me and she stops. And she was like, Mr. Kins. She calls me by my real name, though. Mr. Kins. I see what you've been doing. So I don't bite. I just look at her. I'm like, you see what I've been doing? But immediately when she's talking to me, as she's talking to me simultaneously, I'm grabbing my shirt. See, my whole goal is to put my shirt on. I don't want her to be able to say anything about Kins. So I'm putting my shirt on. She's like, what, you been bodybuilding or something? I'm like, nah, man, I don't do no bodybuilding, man. I don't do nothing like that. So I'm gonna put my shirt on. So she say a couple more things to me or what have you. I do not bite whatsoever. And she's giving me that look like, And she was young too at the time. She was probably, I don't know, maybe if I had to guess, she was probably 25, 26 years old. So she was really trying to put me in a trick bag. She was really trying to make me believe that she wanted me so that I could say something. Then next thing you know, I'm in Mayberry. Mayberry's the hoe. On oh man, we used to call the hoe Mayberry, but it's a Kentucky thing, On the show Andy Griffin, and they had the jail, and when you go to the jail, they called that Mayberry. So we used to call it at Mayberry. But if you're young, you probably don't understand that. But at any rate, the Kins guy wasn't biting. So as time would go past, she would say little things to me. And it got to the point to where a couple people was like, hey, dog, I think she's really feeling you. No, sir. Not me. Not me, my friend. I will never, ever, ever end up in a trick bag. At this point, I didn't even have that much time left. I had probably 2 or 3 months left to go see the parole board. You think that I'm going to risk my freedom? Me going home? I done took all these classes. I done, been in my best behavior, dealing with these D-sucking correctional officers. You think I'm going to trick all of that off over her? Nah, it's not going to happen. Big Ben ends up coming down to Blackburn. Big Ben, man, probably about 6'4", 245, 250. He was about my complexion. Had braids. Cool dude, man. Big Ben was probably about 30 at the time. Swole, man. I'm talking about, man, he was so swole, man. And so, it seemed as though she was feeling Big Ben. Now, she didn't just immediately just start saying things to him. This is over time. Over a month or so, 2 months. The two of them got really, really acquainted. Big Ben was a dorm janitor. When you're a dorm janitor, basically you just in charge of primarily just cleaning your unit. You see what I'm saying? You may have to go out in the day room and sweep, mop, do some windows, things of that magnitude. But for the most part, you're just in charge of keeping the fans clean, because they will keep fans in every unit, make sure there's no dust in the fans, sweeping, mopping, make sure the microwaves is cleaned out, make sure the showers, the toilets, the sinks, the mirrors, everything like that, just regular janitorial duties. He worked third shift. So he's working third shift, and he had an opportunity to actually speak with Miss Karen on a regular basis, on a personal basis. See, initially, Miss Karen was working, I think she worked second shift initially. But it got to the point to where she switched, because they would rotate the officers sometimes. And that's why officers really didn't like it, because they may be on first shift for 6 months, and then next thing you know, they on third shift. They put Miss Karen on third shift. Big Ben worked third shift. So he's really, really loving that, because most people are asleep. At Blackburn, you have to have your TVs off. They say 11:30, but typically if you got a cool CO, they'll let you ride to about 12. Some will let you ride till 1 or 2, depending on what CO's on. Because you have to work in prison. It's a work camp. So either you go to school or you work. If you don't want to do neither, they getting you up through there, man. Get you going on the next thing smoking, man. Oh, you don't want to keep a job? Don't worry about it. And you go. So as I mentioned, Big Ben was working third shift. Miss Karen was working third shift. And most people were asleep during that time. Now, mind you, they got cameras everywhere, though, in the unit. There's cameras everywhere. Now, they have blind spots, but they have several different cameras. And this particular dorm that we was in, it was a newer dorm. I think the dorm had only been open maybe, at best, 3 or 4 years. I don't even think it had been that long. But let's just say 3 or 4 years. So the dorm, it was more modern, opposed to the other dorms that have been up for, I don't know, decades. One night, I guess Big Ben, man, he feel like, it was his time to shine. He wanted a shot at the title. Now, he had already mentioned to a couple people, like I said, hey, man, she's feeling me, man. She's feeling me. I stayed out of it. It's not my business, bro. If everybody else is telling you and you're not listening, why would you listen to me? I'm trying to get home. I ain't got that much time. I don't even concern myself, because there was a couple correctional officers that appeared to have an interest in me, if you will. There was one young lady in the administration building. I used to have to go to the administration building sometimes, and it was a couple. I'm a humble guy, man. I'm not no, cocky type dude or whatever, but it was. I never pursued it, because I know the trick bag that you can end up in if you take a chance. Now, if I had a lot more years and then maybe, but I'm close to going home. So as I mentioned, he's telling people, she's feeling me, and everybody's telling him, like, bro, this is what she does. We've been here. Don't fall for that, man. This is what she does, dog. As soon as you bite, you're gonna find yourself in the hole, man. Mayberry. He ain't trying to hear none of that. This particular night, they're out there talking or what have you. And obviously, I'm not out there, so I don't know exactly what was said. So the only thing I can do is just kind of guess, as far as how the conversation actually went. So they talking, and he's out in the hallway. There's a mop room. That's basically what you call it, a mop room. You go in the mop room, everybody that's been locked up, they know about the mop room. You go in there, that's where all the cleaning supplies are. I'm sorry. You got your sprays, you got your mops, you got your dustpans, your brooms, anything that you would need to assist as far as cleaning. That's where it's at. You got a sink, and it's a nice sized room, and it wasn't dirty by any stretch of the imagination. Remember, this building was only a few years old. He's in the mop room, the mop closet. She's doing her rounds. She gets up because every, I think, 15 minutes, you have to go and check each unit. Now, it's all one dorm, but you got 4 different units in each dorm. So you got A, They call them bays. You got A bay, B bay, C bay, and D bay. You got 50 people per bay. I believe it was 50 people per bay. And so every so often, 15, 20 minutes, you make your rounds. Well, it's dark. Now, it's not pitch dark, but it's dark because, all the lights is out. They keep the lights on all day in prison, but at about 10 o'clock at night, 9 or 10, they turn the lights out. So it's very, very, as I mentioned, it's not totally dark, but the lights are very, very dim. You walk through, make sure that, nobody's doing anything that they're not supposed to be doing. Nobody has their TV on unless you're not really tripping on the TV. Just doing your basic walkthroughs. You don't really care what's going on, but you're doing it for the camera. Because the people, if they're really watching you in the control booth or up at security, then they're going to know if you make your rounds. 9 times out of 10, they're not even watching you. So after she does, her walkthrough, all the units, she comes out in the hallway. When she comes out in the hallway, I guess this was already prearranged. She slides in the mop closet. She slides in the mop closet. They're in there for a good 15 minutes. Now, I can only imagine what they were doing because I was not in the mop closet. Some people's all in my comments, oh, come on, kids, how you know what happened? I was there a lot of times, and if I wasn't there, some of my stories are based on what other people have told me. I'm not at every single place when I tell these stories. Respectfully. So they in the mop closet, they doing what they do. As to be expected. Security comes in. Now when I say security comes in, another officer shows up in the unit. From time to time, you would have an officer that would just pop up, just randomly pop up, a sergeant. But it was rare, and you never really knew when they were coming. 9 times out of 10, they would radio you Officer Karen, I'm en route. This particular night, this officer, or this sergeant rather, he didn't do so. So when he came in through the front door. Sometimes they'll come in through the back door because they'll be trying to catch inmates like smoking or doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. So they'll try to trick you. So instead of coming through the front, they have side doors, they have back doors. This sergeant, man, he was a sneaky type individual. He always trying to catch a motherfucker doing something, man. He smoked 10 packs of cigarettes a day. He see you smoking 1 cigarette, he ready to lock you up, send you to the hole, and send you to Alcatraz. That's what type of sergeant this dude was. Like, he wanted to go up to lieutenant and then end up being a captain, and he probably wanted to end up being a warden and the governor and so on and so on. That's what this guy really, really was. He was a real jerk. And I'm going to tell you what's so ironic about him. I tell a story about him on my channel. Later on, this same weirdo gets caught up in the closet with another inmate. Yeah, y'all go check that out. I don't remember the exact title, but I believe it was a prison sergeant gets caught with inmate or doing the most, or prison sergeant ends up being a booty bandit in prison. It was something like that. Y'all go check that out. This same officer, Sergeant Dickhead, ends up getting caught up in a mop closet with an inmate. So he comes through. Officer Karen, she's not aware that he's even in the building. Perhaps he was watching the cameras and he didn't see her and he thought that something was going on. So he turned his radio off and he didn't radio her to let her know that he was coming. Whatever the case may be, he was in that building. When you first come into the front door, you walk about, on the left-hand side, that's the caseworker's office, probably about 5 feet after you walk in. Right across from her office, on the other side of the hall, is another caseworker's office. And you go down maybe another 5 feet, and you go to the right. It's like a little hallway, a mini hallway. When you go to the right, you go down about, I'd say about 12, 15 feet. That's the unit director's office. But before you get to the unit director's office, it's that magical mop closet. He's looking around. He doesn't see Officer Karen anywhere. So I'm assuming in his mind, he's like, man, where's Officer Karen? He's looking in the units. He doesn't see her. Something tells him to go to that mop closet. He walks to the mop closet. Now he's trying to be sneaky. Now, some of these things I know because it was divulged through other officers. He's trying to be sneaky, so he grabs the door. The mop closet is totally locked. That's interesting. He takes his key. He got a key to every lock, every door, everything in the facility. He slides his key in, but he does it slowly. As he slides his key in, he opens the door. When he opens the door, the most. That's all I can say. He sees the two interacting. They doing the most. Big Ben, 6'4", 245, 250. He's behind Miss Karen. He's probably 5'4", 5'5". Red hair. And they're absolutely going to town. He's going to town on her. She jumps up. She's, you could hear her kind of screaming or what have you. It's not like she's screaming hysterically, but it was kind of like she was, whoa, where did you come from? Now she's playing a role. She's already in the character mode because she know she's caught red-handed by the biggest jerk on the yard, Sergeant Dickhead. They automatically, he gets dressed or whatever, he calls for security or whatever, backup. They automatically take him into custody. When I say into custody, they take him to the hole, to security. Lock him up. When I say lock him up, put his hands behind his back, cuff him, he goes to security. I would have went on, and you done already caught me. I probably would have went on and just took a look at Sergeant Dickhead right then and there. I probably just would have went on, slept him, knocked him out. I'm already caught. I already can't stand you. Nobody likes you. He went calmly, though. He went peacefully. So the people come down there. They take her up to security. Now she's under investigation. Really, they're about to walk her off the yard. But before they do so, it's brought to the captain's attention or the lieutenant, whoever was on. I believe they may have both been on that night. I can't really recall exactly. But it's brought to their attention what happened. Now, here it is that this woman voluntarily went into this mop closet with this inmate. She liked Big Ben. She liked what she seen. Guess what she says? He forced me into the closet and told me that if I didn't get down with the get down, that he was going to take it. And he was going to take it the easy way or the hard way, but he was going to take it. Shout out to Fleece Johnson, Hustle Spirit 502, featuring Big Lee. Yeah, he going to take it the easy way or he going to take it the hard way. So he forced her into the closet. She went into the closet to get some trash bags. She didn't know exactly where he was at. She was looking around. She didn't know where he was at. She goes into the closet to get some trash bags. He grabs her because he's so big and strong. He's 6'4", 245, 250, and she's only 5'4", and she was afraid, and she didn't know what to do, and he forces her, so she just went ahead and just did it because she feared for her safety. She feared for her life. I'm a woman in a man's prison. I don't know what this guy's going to do to me, so I went on and I faked it. I was trying to fake it until I make it. And, fake it till you make it. That was her story. Of course, when they interviewed Big Ben, he's like, shoot, man, he really didn't have a story, man. You saw what you saw. Your eyes don't lie to you. So then he got back to him as far as what she said. Come on, man. She's lying, man. You see, come on, Sergeant. I know I'm wrong, but I'm locked up, man. I ain't been with a woman in years, man. How you gonna tell me I'm wrong? She came on to me. She's been coming on to me. Matter of fact, this whole thing was her idea. She was the one that told me to go in there. She was the one that told me what time to go in there. And really what he was saying, it really made sense. They going back and forth or whatever. She's standing her ground. Nah, I didn't do that. Of course, they ship Big Ben. He goes to the hole. When he goes to another facility, I forget which facility they sent him to. I want to say North Point. He's in the hole pending the outcome of the investigation. They can just do it in prison. They'll throw you in the hole until further notice. And so he's in the hole. They done fired her. And Big Ben gets smart. He said, you know what? That's cool. Because that's considered sodomy. Even though it's consensual, an inmate is not to have any sort of sexual activities, if you will, with staff. So actually, I said that backwards. So let's go backwards. Staff is not to have any sort of sexual contact with an inmate. So I always thought sodomy was what sodomy, most of us know. But no, there's other meanings and definitions as far as when it comes to sodomy. So he gets to claiming like, nah, man. She made me do it. Yeah, but Big Ben, you already said, I know what I said. I was afraid. I didn't know. But nah, this is the truth. I told y'all the truth, but you want the real truth? She made me do it. She told me if I didn't do it, she was going to hit me with a write-up, and it was going to stop me from going home, and it would be a long time before I get to go home to my family, and basically, she just blackmailed me. So, he's at North Point. He's fighting it or whatever. He's fighting the write-up. He done filed the charges. He's trying to get some money out of it now. He lets his family know. They get an attorney. He ends up suing Blackburn, along with I believe, the entire Department of Corrections. He was sexually assaulted by Miss 5'4" Karen. Of course, she's terminated. They ended up pressing charges on her. See, let me tell you something. The thing about prison correctional officers, as long as you're not helping an inmate, as long as you're being mean and rude to an inmate, it's all good. But the minute they find that you're helping an inmate, they're ready to get your ass up out of there, man. They really have the disposition. It's us against them. That's really their attitude towards it. So they press charges on her. She's going back and forth to court. As I mentioned throughout this story, as time went on, I was getting closer and closer to going home. I went up to the parole board. I ended up making parole. 3 weeks later, I was gone. I don't really know ultimately what happened with that story, because once I got out, I never really looked it up. Plus, the internet wasn't as popular, prevalent, whatever you want to call it, as it is now. So you couldn't really just find out information as easily as you can now. I talked to a couple people, I still had some homies there. So they was just kind of, oh man, you remember that situation with Big Ben? Yeah. So, they was kind of telling me. And I've seen Big Ben. Big Ben's from Lexington. I've seen Big Ben a couple times over the years. I never really asked him, what happened or, what the scenario was. I don't know if he won any money on the lawsuit, or I don't know if the charges against her ended up getting dismissed. I don't really know what happened. I just know Big Ben, last time I seen him, probably about 3 years ago, is out on the streets. It just goes to show, man. It just goes to show that when you're in a situation and the deck is already stacked against you, why would you put yourself and dig a deeper hole, if you will, for yourself? Everybody warned him. Everybody warned Big Ben how Miss Karen was. But guess what? A Karen is going to be a Karen. And she seen an opportunity to actually get what she wanted to get. But if it ever hit the fan, or, they were ever discovered, she already had a story, apparently, that she was going to go with. Big Ben could have found himself in a world of trouble. He could have got hit with the grape, the ultimate grape. Who do you think they're gonna believe? Big black 6'4" dude, or the little white innocent 5'4" Miss Karen with the sweet voice with the red hair? Prison's dog eat dog, and it's not always inmates towards other inmates. Paul Harvey once famously said, and I've said this before in several of my videos, you want to see the real scum of the earth, go to a prison break room, lunchroom, during break time. Think about that. A lot of the staff is worse than the dudes that's actually in prison. That's no disrespect towards the correctional officers that's just there to do their job. They get their check, they go home. They're not trying to make nobody's life any harder. I'm talking about the jerks, like Sergeant Dickhead. You see what I'm saying? Sergeant J-Bo from Fayette County Detention Center. Yeah, y'all look him up just as well. These dudes is jerks towards inmates, and they feel as though their power allows them to be any way that they want to be, not even understanding that, dude, we allow you to go home to your family. So why you coming in here acting as though you're this and you that? Do you understand that we let you walk out them gates? Because if we choose not to let you go home, guess what? You're not going home. But a lot of these guys, man, they get beside themselves and they really think that power that they give them, they really think that that's something. Dudes is not going to be locked up forever. I see officers all the time, man. All the time I see them. Like I said, man, you got some cool correctional officers. You got some cool staffs. You got cool sergeants and lieutenants and they ain't all punks. Some of them will get down with you. But for the ones like Officer Karen and Sergeant Dickhead, they end up getting rude awakenings. And when y'all watch my video about Sergeant Dickhead, you're going to understand exactly what I'm speaking of, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share, subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribing, be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this motherfucking heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Real Kens.